Hello, darlings. It's Mama Rose here, and I have some fabulous people for the show. We've got Annwalker, we have Rosemary Alexander and Newell Alexander, all from the Sordid Lives saga. Anne plays the feisty Aunt Lavonda. Rosemary plays the sexy yet evil Dr. Eve. Newell plays the charismatic and dreamy Wardell in the Sordid Lives saga. I don't know if you've heard the news yet from Dell Shores or Emersoncollins, but it has recently been found out through 23andMe that I am the love child of Lavonda's mama, Peggy, and her trailer trash boyfriend, G.W. Nethercott, which makes me the half-brother to Earl, brother boy Ingram. And it says right here on my birth certificate that I was born Burl, mama's boy Ingram, which also means that I am your half-brother, and I mean Lavonda. Ain't that crazy?
I love
it. Now, I do hope that Dr. Eve won't try to de-homosexualize me like my half-brother. Welcome to the show, lovely people.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Hey, Mama.
We're so happy to be here.
And welcome to the family.
Well, thank you kindly. Now, can you please tell us how you all came to be part of the Sordid family with Dell Shores?
We met Dell in 1983.
Yeah.
He came to see a play, a musical that we were doing, and he liked both of us, but what he really liked was the fact that in the program, Newell had credited that one of his best friends was Preston Jones, who wrote the Texas Trilogy, and Dell loved Preston Jones' work, and he thought he could write like Preston Jones. So he contacted us contacted Newell about a year later, and
He had a play that he had written called Cheatin' that he was showcasing himself in, and there was a role in it of a bartender, Wardell, for Christ's sake. And he said, would you help me put it up? And Rosemary and I helped him. I did the sets, and we did everything, and the rest is history. I've been playing that character for 25 years now or something.
And I met Dell when Newell was in rehearsal. I met him backstage, but we were in a big show and he was just a visitor. So when they were in dress rehearsal, they needed photographs, and that's been my avocation for 50 years. And so I went over and to shoot press pictures, and I had not seen or read the play, knew nothing about it, but I got up on stage with the actors with my camera, and I said, ignore me, I'm just going to grab some pictures. And so I'm in there with them, and I'm shooting pictures, and I'm just watching for moments, and all of a sudden I went, oh my God, this writing is amazing.
Well, the acting was damn good too. Jesus.
It was. Dell knows how to cast. Anyway, that was his first play, and it had some success. He got a lot of credit as an actor. He was trying to be an actor at the time, but he got rave reviews for writing.
Did you see it, Ann? Did you see Cheatin'?
Yes, I did. That's when you were on Riverside Drive in that little theater there. That's where I saw it. And Steve Suskind, my husband, fell in love with it. We went back to see it 2 or 3 times. And we knew
It was a funny show.
Yeah, we knew Patrika. It was just a great group, and everybody was wonderful, and it was good.
That's how you met Dell?
No, actually, he saw me in a play called Best Wishes that my friend Bill Barker wrote.
Yeah.
And that's where he saw me. And so he invited me to come and read for a part in, what was the next play?
Daddy's Dying.
Daddy's Dying. Yeah. But I didn't get cast in that. Then he wrote Daughters of the Lone Star State, and he invited me to be an understudy. And I said, I'm so sorry, I don't do understudy roles. Anyway, he explained to me that it was for Carol Cook, and the damn writing again was so great. And I thought, I got to do it for like 2 weeks. So it was great. I enjoyed it. I did it, and we all had a good time doing it. You were in it too. And it was all, you know, it was just fun. It was fun to do. And then he wrote Sordid Lives for us. Each one of us had those parts. He wrote Lavonda for me, and wow, the rest is history, as they say.
With this incredible family dynamic and the history, I mean, it's just amazing to see it all come together. And now, are you looking forward to truly coming back together for the live stream on May 31st? And are you excited to take on these characters again?
Not only are we going to get together with Beaubridges and Bonnie Bedelia and all of us and Leslie, we're just going to sit down and read the original play of Sordid Lives, including Juanita. Now, he wrote it without Juanita in the beginning, but then he added her. What was it? For the movie, he added her, and people wanted to see that character, so he threw her back into the play. So she's going to be read by Daledickey, who is incredibly fabulous in that.
Yeah, my God.
And we've got an auction. It's all proceeds are going to go to these 23 small theaters around the South that produce Dell's work. So whatever we raise in auction money and donations, that'll go to them to keep them afloat.
I think all actors and performers appreciate the fact that theaters, live theaters, serve such a worthy part of not only actors' lives, but of the community. They bring a richness and they provide for kids. I mean, Daledickey started acting when she was 9 years old in one of the theaters in Knoxville, Tennessee that we're benefiting.
Now, Anne, you as a huge fan of designing women's series, I remember your character, Rosalind Shelton, very well, because this episode was very special to me as someone who was adopted. What was it like to play this role with all the emotion packed into this character?
Well, that set was a joy to be on, first of all. And, you know, as actors, we all just love to work, but they were all very welcoming, and we all just got on very well. And it was the episode about the little Vietnamese boat child that Delta Burke's character, Suzanne Sugarbaker, had adopted. Or, well, she was sort of holding her as a foster parent before she got adopted. And we were the adoptive parents, and she took it way too seriously. And she sort of hid her out for a while. I won't say stole the child, but basically she did. But the emotion just sort of comes in when you play it, and you stay with the feelings, and you just do it.
Having 3 people on our screen today that have been on that show, and then finding, you know, Delta Burke in Sordid Lives, or, you know, it's so funny to tie that all together. You know, Rosemary and Newell, you two were both on it in 2 very powerful roles with a great love for Elvis Presley and emotionally explaining about the death of his son. Can you tell us about this?
Well, they were looking for an Elvis character during casting, and we had a friend who we were in an actor's workshop with who was an Elvis impersonator, so he got the job before we even interviewed. But Sordid Live was just going at that time, and we were kind of hot shit. And you know, when we went in on the interview, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do this whole interview as the character. And so I did, you know, I said, hey, y'all, how y'all doing? You know, that whole thing.
Yeah, I sweated blood over that role because we auditioned and they called and booked Newell, and I didn't hear anything for 2 or 3 days, and I thought, well, I didn't get it, let it go. And then a couple of days later, they called and said, Rosemary, we love you, and we're trying to get a celebrity. It was a wonderful casting director, Fran Bascom, that we knew, and she was very kind. She said they love you, but they're trying to get Loretta Lynn, and if they can't get Loretta Lynn, they're gonna hire you. So like 2 days before the shooting started, they called and said, well, they can't get Loretta Lynn, so you're it. So I was so thrilled because it was one of my favorite shows. We watched it, and I didn't miss an episode. I just thought it was the best thing on the air.
Those 3 characters really stood out to me. And when Brian and I were talking about, this interview, I was like, I remember all 3 of those characters better than I remember any other character on the show, next to the 4 ladies. But, it was just amazing to look back on that. And,
I think Dell Shores was the first writer that I know of who dealt with conversion therapy. I mean, my character in Sordid Lives is a psychiatrist, who's going to dehomosexualize someone by getting them to pretend, to fantasize about having sex with a woman. And I thought it was just outrageous and very funny when I first heard it. But then later on, I thought, oh my God, that's real. We've had so many good times with Dell and Sordid Lives. Who would have thought 25 years ago that, we would still be with this and that it would still have meaning to people.
There's a whole generation of people that are not aware of Sordid Lives, and that people are now using it to share with their nephews and nieces and people like that who happen to be gay. And it's just, there's a whole new resurrection, I think, of it.
It's been super rewarding for us. I mean, absolutely. Not a lot of money, to tell you the truth, but really fun.
Did we do it for the money? Did we do it for the money? No.
No, we did it 14 months for free, as I remember.
Yes, we did.
Fortunately.
Yeah. It's been one day on the looping stage on animated film at DreamWorks, and you make more than you make a whole year, doing a lot of little tiny theater projects, but the theater projects are a lot more important.
Well, especially when the words are by Dell Shores. Nobody gives you words to say like that. In Daddy's Dying, Who's Got the Will, I played Evelita Turnover, and my sister said of me, oh honey, she's trash, white trailer trash. And I loved it.
White trailer trash that will not burn. We're Dell's in-laws. Dell was married to our daughter. So we share children together. We have 2 granddaughters, Dell's kids, that we're grandparents to.
So we really are family.
We want to thank you so much, and thank all of our viewers, and especially our fabulous guests, Annwalker, Rosemary Alexander, Newell Alexander. And be sure to check out the live stream, which will feature these gorgeous people on May 31st at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And it will be streamed on YouTube and Facebook. While we await this fabulous experience, please take a moment to make a donation to some very worthy causes by visiting www.DellShoresFoundation.org. Thank you guys so much for being here at the Mamarose Show.
Thank you, Mamarose.
Terrific.
Love you.
Ain't